Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's Tiny Brains podcast. I'm Kevin Joyce, CEO at Tiny Brains, and with me is Peter Graham, the Brigadier of Brains.
Good afternoon, all.
So, what we do every week on this podcast is we take a look at the biggest stories in XR from the previous week. But before we dive in, as you're watching this, I'm going to be on a plane to AWE.
Hmm.
If you're there at the show, contact me in any of the millions of ways that Peter is going to put in the below. And I'd love to chat with you, buy you a coffee. Maybe you buy me a coffee. I don't know. But let's meet up, chat XR. It'll be great. Anyway, so we're going to start with a sad story this week. This is a publication that both Pete and I were very fond of, and sadly, no more.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you may have read mixed news as they go by, or just simply mixed. The publication that has been running for it's about 10 years, since about 2016. They announced that they are shutting their doors. So the website is still available, but their last articles went out on the 30th of May, and they have now shut up shop. The last two editors have announced that they're leaving due to they did state a couple of different reasons, but they are moving on to a German publication called Heiss Online. But yes, like Kev says, we've been reading mixed for a good many years.
So to my knowledge, mixed kind of flew under the radar for quite a bit, but gathered some pace or started gathering pace about 3 years ago. So it's a shame that they built up that momentum and then suddenly that's it, no more. But one of the reasons that I saw they said was that the audience that they had was slipping away because of AI search coming in and replacing actual clicks, and the VR audience hadn't grown enough to cover what was slipping away. So it's a shame. It's very hard to make publications work on the internet these days. Obviously, for those of you who know myself and Peter, we have experience in this field. And while we were successful, not everyone can be. So, hey guys at Mixed, I hope you do well. Hope you land another job. I hope you stay in XR and keep in touch.
Yeah, exactly. It's also a changing demographic as well, as we've previously said in this podcast. If you look on, say, like the Meta Store, for example, and the popular games and the people that are playing the games, it's a younger audience, isn't it? You know, it's Gorilla Tag and it's a lot of those type of games, and that type of audience really get a lot of their information from places like YouTube and TikTok, which Mix didn't really have a presence on. They were a written publication, and the younger audience generally isn't reading, well, tends to be not reading as much. They're getting all their information from video-based sites, and this could be another. That's another reason. I don't know about other sites how they're faring, but if you don't have a presence on some of these other social platforms, it's a struggle.
Indeed, indeed it is. And Meta is obviously very heavily skewing towards that audience with most of their product line. However, we're now going to talk about one that probably isn't.
Exactly. A new report came out last week that Meta are looking at creating an ultralight headset with a puck. Now, we've seen these type of devices before, generally in smaller glasses style AR headsets. One of the earliest ones was Magic Leap. They did an external compute puck, but we have seen it in newer generations of AR glasses. And now supposedly Meta are developing this reportedly for next year for 2026, and it's codenamed Project Loma. Have you seen much of this?
I have. In fact, I've seen a new report that came out just Friday morning, which was very interesting. Um, it had a mock-up included in it with a singular camera on one of the lenses. It was very lightweight and very glasses-like form factor. And also suggesting that it's going to retail, not this is not an enterprise device. It's going to retail for less than $1,000.
Yeah, so again, it's Meta trying to hit that consumer or prosumer sort of level. I don't think that it will be above the Quest 3, but we've yet to hear what they're imagining the applications are going to be. at the
The
moment.
thing is, I don't know how many of you are regular watchers, but Pete and I have predicted this on this show before that Meta are not running away from VR, but they're finding that there needs to be a finer set of stepping stones to get to VR. While there's a lot of reports out there saying the Meta Quest 4 has been cancelled and whatever else, I don't believe that. I believe Meta Quest 4 was always intended for next year. Maybe they've reduced the amount of investment they're putting in it because they don't need it so quickly. But this is a stepping stone to bring AR and VR together. Um, and it's a path that needs to be taken. So I don't discourage Meta from doing it. And they are building on the success of Meta Ray-Bans and adding in more features and more tech. And welcome to your new digital world.
Well, as you mentioned, Quest 4, in these reports about this puck style headset, they have said or noted that Quest 4 is now looking like a possibility of being in 2027, being pushed back a year, which means you get more life out of your Quest 3.
So my view hasn't changed on this. I never thought we were getting a Meta Quest 4 this year anyway, because that's not historically what Meta have done. Okay. It's always been alternating. This year is the year of something other than Quest at Meta Connect, right? And next year is the Quest 4 reveal. It's the leap that Meta has always taken. I don't believe anything here has changed. Meta Quest 4 may have been intended for Christmas holiday season 2026 and now going to be early 2027 because of this, or even mid 2027. But I don't believe the Quest 4 is being put down on their intentions. I believe they maybe have diverted resources to this device because they're behind with this device.
Quite possibly, I have seen rumors that they have cancelled a couple of supposed prototypes for Quest 4 as well.
Yeah, but they cancel prototypes for everything. I've
But
seen
that's
those
it.
rumors
They,
as well, and I don't believe them.
you know the rate of burn that the Reality Labs go through in terms of their billions of dollars. So you
Yeah.
expect quite a few prototypes to get burned through.
Yeah. I'm sure one day there will be a blog post revealing a bunch of these prototypes in the same way that when Valve and HTC revealed the Index, they had a display showing all of their prototypes, and some of them are pretty wacky. I remember seeing them all at a show. I think it was GDC one year. And I'm sure Meta one day will go, look at this. This was originally our Quest 4, and it's the size of a house. But that's the phases these things go through. I do not believe any of these rumors that the Quest 4 has been cancelled. Nonsense. Anyway, sticking with Meta.
Yay, Meta. But something a little bit more UK focused at the moment, and it's Meta is bringing its Quest financing to our little shores, our little islands. They launched financing in the US last year, so that people on the Meta Quest store could buy a Quest and just pay for it monthly. Well, now that option is available for all UK users. You can buy a Quest 3 if you like for £46 a month over a 12-month period, or the Quest 3S for £30 a month over again 12 months. The extra bonus over those 12 months is that you get included in the Horizon Plus subscription service. So you get free games straight out of the box. Nice.
Now, my memory is not perfect, as you may know, but the 12 months at £30 makes it 360, right? Yeah. How much is a Quest 3S right now?
Roughly around about 290. I think it was
Okay.
expected.
So you're paying £70 more and you're joining the Quest Plus slash Horizon Plus thing or whatever else, which is how much? £10 a month? £15 a month? Something like that? So buying on basically the point I'm getting at is buying on this finance, buying a Quest 3S at least. I haven't done the maths on the Quest 3. Buying a Quest 3S on this finance system, if you want that Quest slash Horizon Plus service, is actually cheaper than going and buying it direct and then paying for the subscription.
Yeah,
Yeah. So why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? It's
exactly.
our recommendation, our daily recommendation on this podcast. If you're buying a Quest 3S, use this service because it's cheaper than buying a Quest 3S on your credit card.
Exactly. And you get two free games a month. You don't get to choose which games, but
Oh,
you get, two free games a month. And some of them have been quite big titles.
yeah, they're typically decent.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go for it.
Good, good.
Go and buy your Quest 3S today.
Get
Tell
more
me something.
PS3s out there.
So we're going to wrap up now with
Two games.
two. We always like to finish with a game story, and we've got two for you this week. One of them is the first one is the return of Demeo.
That's it. Demeo X Dungeons and Dragons Battlemarked. Bit of a mouthful. Resolution Games is Demeo. Resolution Games have collaborated with Wizards of the Coast. Now, this was announced last year, so we know it's been going on. But last week, we actually got to see some gameplay footage. They released the first gameplay trailer, and it looks quite good. It looks very Demeo-esque. It's going to have the same tabletop style gameplay, just with a Dungeons and Dragons aesthetic.
Now, it's supposed to be bringing the lore and so on from Dungeons and Dragons into the Demio world. And they actually have hired a writer. I'm very sorry, Mr. Writer Man. I do not remember your name. But they have hired a writer that worked on a lot of Dungeons and Dragons material in the past, including other video games. So for Dungeons and Dragons fans, this is going to be pretty accurate, I would hope. And for Demio fans, it's another Demio. So this is all win-win, right?
It is a win-win. Just a bit more information on that. What they showed in the gameplay was an area called the Neverwinter Wood. Now, if you are a D&D fan, you'll remember this was part of the fifth edition from 2014. So that's the little nod to, D&D fans out there, and what you can expect from the game to come, which is coming in late 2025.
And also, if you've ever played Neverwinter Nights, which is a very famous PC title, you would love it, Pete, if you haven't played it.
Yeah, no, I remember Neverwinter Nights. Yeah, yeah.
This is your kind of thing. Um, Now we're on something that's more my kind of thing. Thief VR Legacy of Shadow. Now this was announced at the State of Play for PSVR 2, but it's also coming to PC VR and Meta Quest this year. So this is our big Christmas game, right?
This is our big. Well, I think possibly both of these games are going to be around Christmas, but this one is, yeah, I think this is going to be the big Christmas game. And yes, it's by Maze Theory, who have done several IP games, including Doctor Who and what was the other one? Oh, Peaky Blinders. Yes, so they have Maze Theory have teamed up with Vertigo Games and Eidos Montreal, and yeah, this is coming. Yeah, like we don't have a specific date yet. It's just 2025, but expect probably around the Christmas period.
I expect it as around the Christmas period, yes. The way we are shifting in the VR scene with Meta headsets specifically, it is big IP, big familiar IP launch at Christmas. A couple of years ago, we had Assassin's Creed, then we've got Batman and Metro, and this year we're going to have Thief and something else. This is it. This is the trend, and I'm fine with that. We do need these IPs in VR, so I'm on board.
Yeah, I'm on board. Looking forward to it.
Anyway, that's all we got time for this week. In fact, I think we may have overrun a little bit. But thank you all for watching. And if you are at AWE, reach out. Let's chat. Coffee, steak, whatever you like. Let's go get it.